I'm ready when you
We're
are.
rolling?
Yep.
Welcome to Sencit Music. I'm Mike Zarin. I'll be your host. My name is Mike Zarin, and I am the owner, composer, and creative director here at Sencit Music.
My name is Tony Hajjar. I'm a composer for Sencit.
It is basically my role to oversee the direction of the company, and both musically and sales and marketing wise. It's kind of my oversight vision of what Sencit is and what Sencit will become.
I've been working with Mike pretty closely for around 2 years. We met through a friend, and it's been going ever since.
I work very closely with all of our composers, and then I also compose music on my own.
It's been a really fun process because I got to learn about the world of trailer music in, I call it a crash course. Coming from bands and stuff, and it's been really fun because Mike and I have also become really close friends at the same time, which makes it a lot more fun to create music, you know. So it's been a fun ride thus far for the past 2 years that we've known each other.
This is Studio A. This is where we do a lot of our brainstorming, a lot of our unwinding. Come up with a lot of ideas for our trailer releases and any other records that we may be working on. Right here is our cabinet of inspiration. These are our records. You see we've got some classic scores in here. Close Encounters of the Third Kind as performed by a Moog Orchestra. We're big fans of synthesizers here at Sencit Music, so that's good. This one's the ultimate inspiration, and that is Scott Baio, the Charles in Charge. Not sure if any of you know that he does music or did music, but it's a gem. And then the always classic heavy metal.
You know, from a very young age, I was very into wanting to play instruments, and I ended up playing drums because of, you know, people I was looking up to at that point. And I started playing in bands when I was 17, and started taking it really serious when I was 19. And then I got into a band called At the Drive-In, and we toured for many, many years. And then that band stopped to exist, so I and another member started a band called Sparta. And I pretty much toured from 1997 to 2008, 6 to 8 months out of the year. And then I wanted to change. I wanted to stay home, and through a mutual friend that was working as a music supervisor, I got to meet Mike, and it's always been a dream for me to write music for film in any kind of aspect. I wasn't looking for anything specific. You know, I was willing to start all the way at the bottom, and I just wanted to learn and become a good writer, because it's a different world to be in a band or locking yourself up alone or with someone else in a studio, and it never goes anywhere from there per se. You don't play shows, you don't do any of that. So you know, now I've been doing it for a little bit over 2 years, and really enjoying it, and just hoping to constantly learn more, and the business side, the writing side, the whole 9 yards, and just become a better writer. And that's where I am now. It's been a lot of fun for me to make that change after a long time from studio tour, and now it's like nice to be kind of settled.
So Mike, how did you start getting to music?
Well, I've been writing and producing music just, you know, on my own level in my bedroom since I was 14 years old. And at that time, that's when I knew that writing and producing music is what I wanted to do. I never had any intention of doing anything to do with film, actually. But I was very much into writing a lot of trip-hop and industrial and heavy music and heavy rock and a lot of metal-based stuff, and I was big into that. And so I decided that was the avenue, and I started pursuing it, went to college for music industry, and after college I got a job with Groove Addicts Music as a sales rep. At the same time I was hired at Groove Addicts, they signed these two composers who specialized in film trailer music, and that was Michael Nielsen and Kaveh Cohen. And so a few months into it, we got a 5-song sampler of what became Full Tilt Volume 1, and I listened to it, and I just gravitated to it immediately. I, like most people, didn't realize that this was a genre, and I had been writing similar music to this since I was 15 years old. In fact, the track that was used in Inglourious Basterds trailer, I wrote when I was 15 years old. So I'd been doing it, so I heard it, and I just immediately put it on my shoulders and said, I am gonna break these guys as a sales rep. I'm gonna do what it takes. These guys are talented, and their music needs to be everywhere. And so, you know, over my 3-year course there, we found a lot of success, and I started taking on more role as A&R and working with, you know, people like Skinny Puppy and stuff, you know, not to drop names, but as a music fan and an industrial music fan, that was, you know, that was like a coup for me. You know, I was right out of college, you know, I was 25, 26, working with all this talent and just soaking it up and loving it, and got to the point 3 years in that I was ready to take the next step and full on produce and full on compose and really dig into the creative side of things. At that time, Groove Addicts had so many projects going on that there wasn't any room for my idea, which became 10th Dimension. And so we cordially parted ways because, you know, I wanted to follow my passion, and Dane Blair over there was fully behind it. You know, we had a great relationship, so I left and started Sencit, and the timing worked out with Tony. He was thinking about getting into film music, and I needed a drummer to play on the songs that I'd already been writing. So, you know, we hit it off right away, and then slowly started collaborating and getting into things, and then you know, knock on wood, it's been going well, and been really fortunate so far. I mean, we've only been in existence since I started this in June of 2008. It's now November 2010. I mean, we're babies in the game. You know, you're talking to Immediate and Audio Machine, and I mean, those guys are great, and you know, we look up to them as trailer composers and people that really help define this niche of music, and we are infants compared to where they are, and to be able to be here and talk about it and be in the same campaigns as them and be recording with the same orchestras as them and just in the same sentence as them, it's just awesome. It's awesome.
I'm a beast, let you know that I'm a beast, yeah.
So this is our lead composer and arranger, Dexter. He pretty much makes sure, yeah, I guess I'm doing alright. Yeah, he pretty much makes sure everything we come out of here sounds good. All the notes are hitting right, all the frequencies are hitting, theaters are shaking, and the trailers are booming off the screen. It's this guy, our success. That's the one. This here is Studio B, and here's where we kind of gather also in the brainstorming phase. We come here during breaks a lot. It's been a tough couple years to put us on the map, you know, starting from nowhere. We're kind of the new kids on the block, and so we come in here and look at the refrigerator for inspiration, and I often look at here at Mr. Big Daddy Kane, who is one of the original pimps of the game. So if ever I'm doubting anything that's going on, I just look to him and think of what he would do, and ideas start flowing. The theory of the 10th dimension is a single point in which all dimensions exist. Everything coexists in this one single point. So we called it 10th dimension because we wanted to have this collection of music that encompassed all genres, to where everything in this one album existed. Our first album, 10th Dimension Volume 1, was fairly eclectic. We had, some hip-hop tracks that were trailerized, and we had some rock tracks that were trailerized, and we had some orchestral tracks and percussive tracks, and we had dramatic tracks and action tracks and horror tracks. And then we got into Volume 2, and I started to want to switch it up a little. In Volume 2, we started to focus more on horror and action, and we found that to be very well received, and it seems to be our strength. So we decided to do a Volume 2.5 and really hammer it in with that, which was more of a drum sound design thing, and really capitalize on the grit that's I think our strength. Obviously Tony's a drummer, he has a great sense of rhythm and build, and we both do sound design and work with synths and love making noises. And so we went with that, and now with Volume 3, I think we're going to expand it back out, because we're pulling in a really good orchestra, and we're going to start really coming back to the 10th dimension idea of encompassing everything. So that's where that came from. We called it 10th Dimension, or we separated it from Sencit. Our company Sencit, 10th Dimension's a library, because we plan on growing. This is our start. 10th Dimension is the beginning, and really excited about where it could go, because I have no idea where it could go. I have ideas. I guess I have ideas, yeah. But who knows what doors will open up, where it's gonna pan out, who knows where it'll lead.
It's a different kind of expression. Mm-hmm. Again, I've done bands a lot longer than I've ever done this, and I feel very I'm very happy and privileged, and I don't take anything for granted. I've had a lot of amazing stuff happen to me in my past with bands and stuff like that, but I'm not the kind of person to come into a situation and act that I know anything or everything. I just want to learn. With Mike, he'd been selling trailers for years and really learning that side of the world, and I come in, and it's not about age, it's about wanting to learn. I thought that I would come in and I just have open ears, and that's what you do, and then you bring in what you know, and you hopefully, this did happen with Mike, he had open ears for what I knew. And that's why it's really exciting for me. It's like, you don't come into any situation thinking you rule it. You come into the situation as a team player, and then you learn from it, and if you need to mop this floor, you mop it, or if you need to compose, you compose. And I just think if you have that, I call it the punk rock attitude, if you have that punk rock attitude, then you're going to be fine in whatever you decide. If tomorrow we both decide to, I don't know, become landscapers or something, I think if you just come in with that, you're going to be really good at it, and you're going to learn from the ground up, then you're going to be fine.
Which we've done.
Which we have.
We've both done landscaping.
We've both done landscaping.
And home improvement and building and studios and tearing down studios.
Yeah. That's actually a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
In a different way. It's a lot of fun.